This is pre-algebra lesson 2.1. It's the third page or lesson with this one, so that's why there's a C, PA 2.1C. You'll be working on pages 54 and 55. And my cat is laying right here, and you can hear her purr. Could you hear that? And you'll need your note-taking guide book with the blue boxes. You need to turn to page 25 to start with. It'll be 25 to 26. Okay, so a decimal is a number that is written using the base 10 place value system. A decimal separates the ones and the tenths digits. And you are working with those blue place value, the base 10 blocks last week. On that decimals and place value, it's in the second box. It shows you on the far left, you have hundred thousandths, 10 thousandths, thousandths, hundreds, tens, ones, and then there is the decimal point, which goes right there. Then you have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, and 100 thousandths. And in the example that they want you to fill in, if it says 15, this is very hard because my cat is trying to hit my stylus. Sorry. So if you had 15 and 2 tenths, how would you write that out? Well, we would write that out like this. Hang on. We would put the 15, which I didn't even spell right. That's dumb. Let me fix this. That just looks bad. Yeah. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay. So 15 is going to go, the 5 for 15 goes in the ones place, and the 1 goes in the tenths place there. And 2 tenths is going to go in the tenths section right there. Now let's say the number was 15 and 8 hundredths. So the number would look like this because we have the 8 and the hundredths. We don't have anything in the tenths, so that 0 goes there. And 15.08 would be, we'd have a 0 here, and we would have an 8 here. So 15.0. Ouch! My cat just bit me, sorry. So the little paragraph there where it says example 1 comparing decimals says at Jason's 6-month checkup, he weighed 15.2 pounds, abbreviation per pounds. At Allie's 6-month checkup, let's see, this was baby Jason, this is baby Allie. And this 6-month checkup, she weighed 15.08 pounds. And I want you to compare the weights of the two babies to figure out who weighed more. And because we have 2 digits here, we need 2 digits here, so I'm going to put another 0 right there. So we have 15.20 and 15.8. And we've added our placeholder, which was the 0. So we have to figure out the ones and tens here are the same. And then we look at the tenths column. So the tenths are going to be the first one after the decimal. So that would be these two numbers. And we see that the tenths are different, so we would figure out we have a 2 and a 0. So our inequalities, which would be smaller than or greater than, or we could use an equal sign, needs to go right here. So already we can tell that 2 is greater than 0, so that's what would go. So at the very beginning, where it says that, and then there's a blank and a blank, digits are the same, you're writing in tens and ones. Then where it says 15.2, it says we write a 0 a 0 as a placeholder. The next line where it has the arrow leading to the 15.08, we see that the tenths digit, which I circled right here, are different, and so we have to write this inequality. And then in the very last box on that line, we want to write 15.2 is greater than 15.08. So this is the real number of we got from that. And then the answer space, it says because 15.2, that's the greater sign, 15.2 is greater than 15.A, and the answer is Jason weighed more, because the 2 was greater than the 0. So at the bottom of page 25, it says your turn now, and you have to write in these inequalities or equalities for these. And we're going to have to add 0 placeholders on some of these cases. So 15.3 and 15.3, and over here we have 15.09. So we're going to add a placeholder right here. Now we have 15.30, 15.09. Which one is greater? We're going to compare the tenths position. 3 is going to be greater than 0, so that would go there. Number 2, we need to add a placeholder 0, and we have 6.30 and 6.30, and obviously that is equal. The numbers are the same. And in the last one, 9.238 and 9.36, I will add a placeholder here. So I have 3 spots here and 3 spots here. And once again, I'm going to compare my tenths. And we have a 2 and a 3. The 3 is greater than the 2, so that 9.238 is less than 9.36. Okay, on the top of page 26, it says example 2, ordering decimals, and it gives you these numbers: 6.14, 6.3, 6.07, 6.27, and it's going to have you order them from smallest to largest, from least to greatest, and we want you to figure out how would you mark that. And so the smallest number we are going to have, if I go through and rewrite these correctly, 6.14, 6.30, I added a 0 placeholder, 6.07, 6.00, this needs 2 0 placeholders, and 6.27. So I can see that the smallest number is going to be 6, right there, 6.0. The largest number, so it's going to be, let's see, so we have 6.0, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4. Okay. So let's see where these would, the first one would be 6, right here, would go right there. Okay. The next one is 607, and that's going to go, maybe right here. It's not quite 6.1, but it's past the half on the between 6.0 and 6.1. Got that one. Next we have 6.14, so that's going to go about right there. That's between the 6.1 and 6.2. Then we have,
working on school stuff.
okay, 6.3 is going to go, which is right there. It's going to go right there. And what we're missing is 6.27, and that one would go about right there. So we ordered them from largest, or from smallest to largest, 6.4 is bigger than 6.0. And then, so that's how you'd fill out that blue number line. It asks you to mark hundredths by dividing each tenth into 10. That's in that small box in that first part. 10 equal parts, and then graph each number. Then where it says from least to greatest the numbers are, you would rewrite the numbers in the correct order. The next box, it said on page 26, says rounding decimals. To round a decimal to a given place value, look at the digit in the place to the right. Okay. If the digit is less than 5, that's the next box, round down. If the digit is 5 or greater, round up. And you can remember my little hill here, where if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we're rounding up. We go to the next biggest number. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're rounding down, and you would just stay where you're at. Okay? In the box it says example 3, rounding a decimal. It wants you to round 8.548. And in the boxes to the side there, it says you want to round up to the nearest tenth. So the one we want to round up to is here. This is the 10th digit. We need to, because the hundredths digit is less than 5, so this is the hundredths digit. So this is something to listen when you have the directions, is to listen to for two things. One is when you're rounding something to the nearest tenth, or whatever digit it gives you to round to. The words rounding to pertain to the one that's going to be affected, but the one who makes the decision is the one next to the one you're rounding. I know that sounds very confusing, but you won't get it, and you'll make a lot of mistakes if you don't catch that. So when the directions say round 8.548 to the nearest tenth, it's telling you that rounding to the nearest tenth, this is the one that we're worried about, and this is the one that's going to tell us what to do. It's the one next to the one that it's asking you to round to. So we can look at, because in the directions say because the hundredths digit is less than 5, that would go in that box. We round down and drop the remaining digits. So on our little hill, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 here. These round up, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. These are rounding down. What does that mean? It means that this number right here is a 4. It appears here. We're going to round down. So in order to get the round to the 10th position, we know that the 4 is here. And so our answer is going to be 8.5. We can drop now the other ingredient, or the other numbers. Okay, and the last box on page 26 is your turn now. Numbers 4 and 5 want you to order all the decimals from least to greatest. Number 6 is it wants you to round 61.0962 to the nearest hundredth. And the nearest hundredth is, we're going to be talking about this one right here. That means we're going to use this one right here to tell us what to do with this one. Okay, so we'll make our little 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you have to decide where the 6 lies on our mountain here, and whether we round up, and this would change to 10, or whether it would round down and stay as 0.09. And this should have been a point sign here, right here, not a comma. Okay, so your assignment is page 54 in your math textbook. Today you're going to do numbers 1 through 26. Tomorrow you'll do numbers 28 through 56.